Hello and welcome to I Teach. Today's episode is called Understanding the Cube. So what we're going to talk about is just the cube, the Rubik's Cube, and understanding it a little bit better, okay? So the first thing that we notice is that we have white, and this has the logo on it. It's opposite yellow. We've got blue, which is opposite green, and we've got orange, which is opposite red, okay? We have three different types of pieces. This is a center piece. This is the red center piece, which means that red is always going to be on this side because the center pieces don't really rotate the same way the other pieces do. You're always going to have red on this side, okay? Even if you rotate a centerpiece, this is still going to be the red side eventually. So the centerpiece dictates what color that side is going to be. So you've got your centerpiece. It just has one color. All right. Then you've got an edge piece with two colors, red and yellow. This is an edge piece. And as you can see, there's four of those here on this side. And then you have something called a corner piece, which has three colors, red, yellow, and blue. So this is the corner piece, and there are four of those on this side. All right. So you have three different types of cubes: center pieces, edge pieces, and corner pieces. A lot of times cubers will solve with white on the bottom, and a lot of times we'll solve with orange on the front. I said will. I'm not really a cuber. I'm not like a speed cuber or anything like that. I can solve the Rubik's Cube, but it takes me, a little bit of time. So, to get started, a lot of times you can solve with white on the bottom and orange in the front, or sometimes, like with the beginner's method, you may solve with white on the top and then flip it over to the bottom eventually. So then the other thing you need to learn is kind of the language. So if this is the bottom, is we're going to call that down. This is down. This is up. This is front. This is back. This is right. And this is left. Okay, if we have white on the bottom and orange facing us, this is front, back, right, left, up, down. Now the other thing is, if I say front, that's one rotation, and it's clockwise. One clockwise rotation. If I say front, that's front. That was one rotation, front. All right? Front prime, or front inverted, or front inversion. You can shorten that to just front prime, would be counterclockwise rotation, okay? Now if we were to say back, it's going to go this way because if I were looking at it, that would be clockwise. If I were to say back prime, it would be this way because if I were looking at it, that would be counterclockwise, okay? And then the same thing for all the sides. So a right would be this way, a right prime would be this way. Left would be this way, and left prime would be this way. It's as if you were looking at it. If you say left, it's going to be clockwise. If you say left prime, it's as if you're looking at it and it goes counterclockwise. All right. There are other things to learn about the cube, like sometimes you'll do these middle rotations, or like sometimes you'll do two layers at once, or sometimes you'll rotate the cube, but those things, you don't need to know those things to be able to solve the cube. To be able to solve the cube, all you need to know is front, back, up, down, left, and right. And you can get all the way through solving a cube just knowing those things. And the other things, there are more complicated algorithms that you can learn for trying to solve the cube faster and in less moves. But for now, you don't really need to know those things. All right. So that is pretty much the basics of the Rubik's Cube. And this, once again, this episode was called Understanding the Cube. So thank you very much for watching.